At this time, I'm going to kind of conclude that my stuff at the last address was being taken and handed off to two to three people. People that work at the NSA and police department. One of which actually works with neural monitoring. Possibly got one of the devices on loan. Now, I moved out of that place and into this place. Yet I constantly hear shit above me. In crawl spaces. Below me. And yet, everywhere I turn, it seems like there's new stuff popping up. I think that was under the definition of crime, torture, and the RICO Act. Especially when it's a family friend or two that works at the government agency, a family friend that works at the local agency. And yet, for being tortured for 2 years at the other place, and now 2 months at this place, I'm pretty sure. Here, let me look it up real quick.
What process is afforded a U.S. citizen, not someone who's overstayed a visa, not someone who crossed the border without permission, but an American citizen? What process is currently afforded an American citizen before they go on that list?
Duh.
I'm sorry, there's not a process afforded the citizen prior to getting on the list. There is a process should someone feel they are unduly placed on the list.
Yes, there is. And when I say process, I'm actually using half of the term due process, which is a phrase we find in the Constitution, that you cannot deprive people of certain things without due process. So I understand Mr. Goon's idea, which is wait until your right has been taken from you and then you can petition the government to get it back. I understand that that's his idea. My question is, can you name another constitutional right that we have that is chilled until you find out it's chilled and then you have to petition the government to get it back? Is that true with the First Amendment?
No.
Sir, there are strict criteria.
Bullshit.
That's not my question, ma'am. That is
I guess not, unless you know somebody that works at the agencies.
Afforded a United States citizen before that person's constitutional right is infringed. That he's fine with doing it with the Second Amendment. My question is, how about the first? How about we not let them set up a website or a Google account? How about we not let them join the church until they can petition government to get off the list? How about not get a lawyer? How about the Sixth
And my
Amendment?
favorite.
How about you can't get a lawyer until you petition the government to get off the list? Or my favorite, how about the Eighth Amendment? We're going to subject you to cruel and unusual punishment until you petition the government to get off the list. Is there another constitutional right that we treat the same way for American citizens that we do the Second Amendment? Can you think of one?
No. Dumbass bitch.
Can you think of one?
I don't have an answer for you, sir.
Alright, well, I'm out of town, but...
Alright, so...
Now, I mean, clearly, you're not allowed to torture. Clearly, it's taken place from last residence to this residence. Clearly, I'm willing to take a polygraph test because, you know, if you're getting gifts and favors and shit to take part, it's a crime. It's a crime in alone just to torture. And seeing as how I'm on the 3rd year, the people at my last address are responsible. And it's been kind of passed around like a hot potato. So, I mean, if I can be tortured, I mean, well, I can also be paid back. See, due process is when I went to court in 2015 for a lie that my daughter can actually verify now because she's old enough to actually take the witness stand. That's the funny shit. So everybody at my last address would be guilty. The person who gave them the equipment would be guilty. And then everybody at this address that uses said equipment would be guilty. Along with breaking and entering, theft, and many other criminal activities. Deprivation of rights, conspiracy against another. Now, I don't know too many liars that are willing to take a polygraph test in Congress, Senate, or Supreme Court. Or willing to take one privately through an agency and then, you know, go from there. Speak with an attorney general. What, you know, what avenue do you want me to take? I mean, I can call Mr. Gowdy's office and, you know, speak with him on this subject. Seeing how he kind of knows a little bit. And we all know that I don't mind calling people, you know, to figure shit out. Since torture is illegal, I mean, if you're 50, you get out when you're 70. If you're 40, you get out when you're 60. But then if you take part in 18241 and all those other ones, and, you know, those years grow longer and longer. Hell, before you know it, it could be 50 years. Life. Life without the possibility of parole. Because, see, I done had enough of being knocked out. I done got tick bites from being knocked out right there on that mat. On the steps at my old place. And walking through a grassy field. Enough to where enough to where it says permanent vision loss, sudden blindness. You know, and then the fact that I paid so much money over the years to get something that never came to fruition. Tenant safety and landlord liability. Okay, hold on. Safety and criminal activity. Free from criminal activity. Okay. The other major threat to the tenant's safety may be the building itself. Older buildings may not conform to current safety codes and may contain lead or other dangerous chemicals. Require landlords to disclose toxins to tenants before they sign a lease. They also require fire exits, smoke, carbon monoxide detectors, make reasonable repairs to improve building safety. Now, there is a spot in here that says that if it's not habitable, the landlord cannot make you pay rent until it's habitable. Then along with destruction of property, children's stuff, some other things that are just a no-no just because one person, doesn't know how to, stay within his bounds or boundaries, That's not my fault. I'm within my boundaries. Oh, let me look up one more thing. Intrusion on seclusion, public disclosure of private facts, unreasonable publicity given to one's private life, appropriation of one's name or likeness. Then down here it says, state law prohibits willfully intercepting, endeavoring to intercept, or procuring any wire, oral, or electronic communications individually or through another person. It also prohibits disclosing or using the communication that was obtained illegally. No one was a third party and no one gave consent. It's a violation. Oh yeah, that's a $10,000 5-year imprisonment. Or both. It's a misdemeanor to conduct visual surveillance of an individual in a restroom, dressing room, without the individual's consent, even by the owner of the premises. Maryland Criminal Law. Section 3901. Then we got Maryland Personal Information Protection Act protects against privacy, personal information of state residents. Hospital paperwork, any paperwork with any numbers, anything that references a certain person. And then there's cybersecurity, and then there intellectual property. There's just a whole bunch, And when you hear somebody say, "Oh no, you can't erase that stuff," and someone say so, Well, somebody done violated that law and continues to violate that law like no one knows.